Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 7 of What If Naruto had the most powerful Sharingan. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also guys, remember to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was banished to the Forbidden Lands over an Anime King 2. And also over an Anime King. Stay tuned for a brand new episode coming out tonight. If you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. I did have 3 channels, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And don't forget to turn on that bell notification to see exactly when I post. And yeah, without further ado, Woody, so we get straight into this new episode. Start the intro. So the last spot we left off, we found out the reason why Naruto was called the Demon of Konoha. The reason why his name was so feared through the Elemental Nation. First, it was Kumo, when he annihilated several outposts, annihilating people without a shred of mercy, but that was not the big thing. A city that was a few miles away from the Hidden Stone. Naruto had stepped foot in there. He erased everything. There was ninjas, civilians, samurais, innocents in there. He erased them all. When anyone came by that place, it was now deserted and empty. As Tazumi and the others had arrived, when Naruto had moved forward, going past their order to make his way, he did not stop. He had said a few words to Shikaku, and Shikaku knew that Naruto was up to something when he had left. When he arrived though, the place was empty. It was dark. Rain was pouring and Naruto stood in the midst of it all, his eyes bleeding badly. As he stood there, unwavering, hundreds, thousands of innocents died, and he erased it in the blink of an eye. No remorse, nothing. Oniki had no choice but to end the Third Great Shinobi War right there and then, as he couldn't afford to lose more people. As Naruto was placed on a fully on-site list, just like Minato. If anyone was to see him right now, they wouldn't dare step towards him, they would just run. He was too dangerous to go anywhere near. That was what cemented him as one of the most powerful ninjas in this time right now, able to wipe out an entire coastal village by himself. We then skip back to the present timeline as Tazumi didn't know what to think or even say, because she found out some surprising news. She thought that she'd eat something bad, but that was not the case entirely. She was pregnant, and she couldn't believe it. She was pregnant. As she remembered that night with her and Naruto, as she didn't know what to think or even say. At the moment though Naruto was out of the village, he was on a mission with Itachi, as there had been a lot of kidnappings in the area, and the land had hired them to find out who was behind it. When Itachi and Naruto arrived, they had to break up a ritual that was going to be done by a man known as Hidan. He was with a religion known as Jashin, as he was about to sacrifice all these people, as he had a few followers with him. As Naruto and Itachi jumped into the fray, Itachi almost got sliced, but at that moment he activated Sharingan, 2 told him in each eyes, as Naruto prevented it though. Hidan on the other hand could not be killed, as Naruto sliced him, but he would not die. Itachi watched as Naruto did something amazing. A jutsu. So much power Itachi felt it as he could see it. Know with his eyes the chakra that required to use this jutsu. Hellfire broke from the earth as it was intense. It incinerated Hidan completely, as there was nothing left. He might be immortal in a sense, but his body could not regrow. That was a messed part of it. Once you separate his limbs, his body could not regrow, and Naruto completely erased him. He was gone. The people were brought back home as the village leader thanked them greatly, as Naruto made his way home back to the village along with Itachi. After reporting back to Hokage, he met up with Tazumi. As he was at the market to buy something, she saw him as she was acting rather strange, as Naruto wanted to talk to her. As he remembered what she said, but he didn't want to be in a relationship right now. The reason why he broke things off with Kushina, the reason why he has been isolated himself was because of his own grief. In a state of raw anger after Kimiko and Inibi died, Naruto had annihilated innocent people. He remembered doing it all. He remembered wiping out the entire village with families, friends, and he just wiped them away at the time. He did not even care. The curse of Uchiha, the hatred, was so strong inside of him, he erased everything without even thinking. He slaughtered thousands of people, innocent people, that were not even in the war. He just erased the entire village. And he realized that scarred him. And he didn't want to put Kushina through that. She deserved something better than him. So he made things as bad as possible for her, so that she would grow to hate him, but she did not. Even though they broke up, she never hated him. Never truly. But he wanted her to hate him. He wanted to be hated for all that he done. He deserved to suffer after so many people that he slaughtered. He killed innocents, and he deserved the pain. But Tazumi told him something that shook him to his very core. She was pregnant, as that caught him off guard. He froze as Tazumi looked at him, as he was not saying a single word, as she sat there waiting for him to respond. So yeah guys, that's basically what I thought you guys can switch across the bridge of yourself. So to begin this new episode, we begin this episode within Konoha. As Naruto was walking, he was walking in the street, and there was nothing but bodies. Countless bodies around. Death, mayhem, destruction. Smoke filled the air. Fires burning and raging through the village. Dark, black smokes. As Naruto looked around all the chaos, he looked towards the Hokage's monument, as all the former Hokage faces were destroyed. As he looked towards the Hokage's tower, he saw Minato was pinned in the tower by a sword through his stomach, his head hanging down low. Naruto's eyes went wide as he rushed over, as Kushina was there, dead. He didn't understand. What was this? Something flashed past him as Naruto turned. Naruto, help me. As he turned to see Tazumi, as she was being held up by the throat by him. As Naruto looked at himself that was standing there, his Mangekyo Sharingan was activated, looking at him. He was covered in blood. The bloody Naruto stepped forward, snapping Tazumi's neck. Naruto watched as she fell and hit the ground. As he stood there frozen, his mind unable to comprehend what is going on. The bloody Naruto stepped towards him. Look around, he said, as he walked around Naruto like a predator stalking its prey. This is what you are. The demon of Konoha. The bloody Sharingan. The harbinger of death. This is what you're known as. You were the man that single-handedly eradicated thousands within just a day to satisfy your bloodlust, but yet you still went on to kill all those innocent faces, those children, those people. You brought down your wrath upon them. You exterminated them. You wanted to end the war, but in doing so you condemned thousands of lives to death. suffering and pain. Known as one of the most feared men in the entire world. Look at you. How could you ever be a father? As Naruto staggered back, no, this isn't real. As the bloody Naruto stepped forward and gripped him by the face. As Naruto screamed as he witnessed the thousands of screams echoing in his mind, he heard the people dying as they screamed as he set them ablaze and their entire village. He watched as thousands fall as their bodies were being burned before the bloody Naruto shoved him back as he crashed into the wall. You left Kushina because you were afraid to hurt her. But now, you want to bring an offspring in the world. When you know that you're a demon. When you know that you're a being of unprecedented chaos. Those eyes of yours are going dull. You torture yourself by not implanting your sister's Sharingan because you know it will only make you more powerful. And what if it happened again? What if your bloodlust this time is unable to quench? What if you turned on Konoha? Poor little Itachi will have to suffer by the hands of his own uncle. Shut up, said Naruto. No, I will not. Because you kept me away for so long. You kept your intention away for so long. Constantly torturing yourself over and over. Secluding yourself. But it won't last. You're a monster and we both know this. The entire world knows this. You're a being of death and destruction. Why hide it? Embrace it. The bloody Naruto held out his hands as his Mongito started to swirl. The sky parted as hellfire seemed to rain down from the heavens and scorch Konoha. Naruto jumped out of bed as he was panting heavily. Sweat creased his brow as he looked around the room that he was in. He was in his bed. He took several deep calming breaths before he'd swing his legs off the bed. He was alone. This very night, Tazumi had told him that she was pregnant with his child. And now he was here. As Naruto took several more breaths, he got up and he shakily made his way toward the sink. He poured himself a glass of water. As he was about to drink it, but his hand spasmed as the glass fell. It cracked and split. As Naruto looked down towards the glass, and for a moment, for a single second, he saw himself covered in blood before everything returned back to normal. Naruto dropped on the ground right beside the broken glass. His heart was pounding in his chest. He was going to be a father. He didn't mean for this to happen. It's not like he hasn't been with girls before. He was with Kushina. But he was always safe. But the night with Tazumi, he got more drunk than he thought. And in his drunken state for a moment, he seemed to let go of all the pain and agony that he was feeling after all. Liquor was the only thing that could keep his mind at calm. Everything else always bring it back. The memories. He hated the Hidden Stone. He hated war. Just because he massacred so much people didn't mean that he seeked out death and destruction. He didn't want that. It didn't mean that he was a person that only brought agony wherever he go. Despite all the rumors, all the talks, he knew what he did was horrible. His sister had died. His best friend had died. He was consumed by the hatred that all Uchiha possessed but his exploded towards the point of no return. He could still remember the screams as he burned countless of innocents, as he torched buildings, as he slaughtered samurais, as he slaughtered ninjas and ended up blowing the village down as he summoned his Sano, as he erased countless buildings. He erased thousands of innocents in a day, causing the end of the Third Great Shinobi War. It was already on fumes by the time Minato had already dispatched 1,000 ninjas from the Hidden Stone with his Higher-Shin, but Naruto had made sure to put the fear of coming into them. But Minato had killed enemy ninjas. But what Naruto did despite the people of Konoha seeing him as a hero that saved the village. Knowing of his despicable deeds, but he did it for them. He damned his soul to hell for them. But that didn't change anything, did it? He felt horrible. At first, he did not care. After all, they took his sister. But as he come to realize those innocents that he slaughtered, that he butchered, had nothing to do with it. Yes, they were in the same village, but they were innocent people. I know he had a child to look forward to. He had so many enemies. An entire village hated him. An entire village would love to see him suffer. I know he had a child on the way. As Naruto was sitting down on the ground, his heart still beating rapidly, he glanced over towards the ground. As he lowered his head, when she told him that she was pregnant, he didn't react well at all. He might have just ruined everything. As Naruto slowly made his way back to bed, but he knew that he could not sleep. As he just sat there, before he lied on his back and looked up at the ceiling, hours passed, and he just lay there, fully awake. The next morning, the Inazaka household knew that something was wrong. Ever since she came home last night, Tazumi was rather pissed off. Everyone decided to give her space. She had taken over for her father as clan head, and they respected the chain of Alpha, even though they would like her to settle down and have an heir so they can have distant heirs in the future. She hadn't found anyone that she was able to settle down with that she thought was worthy enough, that she wanted to be with. But the one person that she thought that she might make something work with him, well, let's just say things didn't go well last night. As Tazumi was furious, she barely slept. She knew that he would react a certain way, but she never expected that. And now she was pissed off, angry. She wanted to beat the crap out of him. She wanted to fight him. Her feral side was coming out, rather dangerously. It was a blessing that she did not attack him last night. After the conversation they had, as she heard a knock on her door, she glared at the door. Even her pup Koromaru was outside, knowing that she just wanted to be alone for now. Who dare disturb her while she was so pissed off? She marched towards the door, releasing a dose of killer intent, so furious as she opened it, only to see Naruto standing there. "What do you want?" "Can I come in?" he said. "No. Please. I just want to talk. I overreacted last night. Please, just hear me out." She scowled in anger. "Fine. You have 5 minutes and then I want you out of here," she said. As Naruto stepped inside, remembering their little conversation. Flashback. As Tazumi was looking at Naruto, she had just told him that she was pregnant, and she was now waiting for his response. "No. This can't be," he said. She knew that he might not go along with this, or even want to be with her. But she was carrying their child, and even if he didn't want that, she would like him to be the father of said child. For a child to grow up in a broken home, that was never good. Perhaps they might never be together after all. Things were going to be rather hectic now that she was pregnant after all. Despite everything, she and Kushina was best friends. And she knew that somewhere deep down Kushina perhaps still loved Naruto somewhere deep down. She was just locking it away for Minato's sake. And now this had to happen. "Look, Naruto, I know this is hard." "No," said Naruto as he got to his feet. There was a look on his face. A look of terror, and a look of anger, and a look of sadness. "This can't be." "But it is," she said. "I'm pregnant. And it's your child. And how do you know? Are you sure that you haven't been with anyone else?" She got pissed at that as she clenched her fists. Look, I'm telling you, I have not, and this is yours. I know that we didn't plan this, but... No, said Naruto as he shook his head. I don't want anything to do with this. She froze. Out of everything, she never thought that he would say that. As she felt something inside of her broke, she looked at him. What did you just say? I said, I don't want anything to do with this. This was a mistake. I knew inviting you to stay that night was a mistake. You shouldn't have come. Now this. She clenched her fist so tight that blood started to leak from her palm. Look. I know. This was never expected, she said. As she felt so angry, so miserable now hearing him say that. She wanted to cry, she wanted to fight him. She had to hold back all of that rage. But I said no, said Naruto. I don't want to be a part of this child life. Or be with you, said Naruto. Leave. How dare you say that, she blew up at him. Of all the things I expected to say, this, after everything we've been through, after how much I've supported you in the past, and tried to make things right, I never asked you to, said Naruto. Well, I did because I'm your friend, and this is happening whether you like it or not. So, I'm giving you a choice. If you really don't want to be a part of this child life, or mine, say it and I'll go. Well, I don't, so leave, said Naruto. The look on her face was a look of pure betrayal and hurt as she got up, as she walked away. As Naruto dropped down to the ground, as he just looked at his hands. What did he just do? In the flashback, she was furious. She didn't even know why she let him inside, or why she even cared about him anymore. If you want to suffer in your self-loathing, then go ahead. She did not care anymore. He can do whatever the hell he likes. She was gonna raise this child, and she would never tell him who his father is, because she didn't want Naruto a part of her life anymore. Because she hated him. After what he said last night, he hurt her. She never thought he would ever do that. Look, Tazumi, hurry up and speak what you have to say, and then you can go. You've already made your intentions clear. So hurry up, she said to him. I'm sorry. Sorry? After what you said? As Naruto looked away. You can't even face me now, you coward. I always knew that you were a spineless coward after all, isolating yourself, stepping away from everyone because of something that happened. Everyone went through a lot. You think that you're the only one that lost. There are countless people in this village that lost countless people. But you broke down. You did so much. You slaughtered your entire village. And who was it that was there? When everything was going to hell with Kushina, I was there for you. But now you dare say this to me. I want nothing to do with you. I'll raise this child by myself, and I will never mention you. So you have your free roam. Go ahead, leave. This time though, don't expect me to ever try to help you ever again. You can go. No, said Naruto. What? I said go, she said. No, said Naruto. Her claws came out, as her face became feral. I said go. No. She moved forward as she slashed him across the face. As Naruto staggered back. Get out of my house. I'm really sorry, said Naruto. You have to. She slashed him again, before she kicked him in the stomach, knocking him back. As Naruto crashed against the wall, she pounced on him as she slashed him across the chest, tearing his shirt. How dare you tell me no? How dare you show your face here after everything that you said? You asshole, as she slashed him again. As she clenched her fists, as her nails dig into her palm as she smashed it in his face. He was not fighting back. Leave my house, she said. She smashed his face once again. I won't until you let me explain. I don't want your explanation, you said enough. As she punched him across the face as blood flew from his mouth. You bastard, after everything I've done for you, after how much I've sacrificed for you, being there for you, and yet you say that to me? I want nothing. As tears start to fall from her eyes, she punched him once again, but it was not so powerful. She was basically sitting on him by this point. As Naruto looked up at her, blood running down his cheeks and his chest. Tazumi, said Naruto. What? She said, wiping her tears. I didn't mean what I said. You didn't? Well, who was it then, you asshole, she asks. There's something I never told anyone before. The reason I isolated myself, said Naruto, as he wiped his mouth. The reason I broke up with Kushina. The reason I acted like a complete jackass. For her to hate me. And for you all to just leave me alone. But out of everyone else you kept on fighting. I shouldn't have, she said. Yeah, you probably shouldn't, said Naruto. But I need to explain. Explain what? Do you think whatever you're gonna say is gonna make me feel better? At least let me explain myself. Fine, speak, she said, as she did not move. As you know, you came there to see what I did. I killed thousands of people. Innocents. People that didn't deserve it. After I calmed down, I realized what I really did. I realized how much family I erased. Yes, I lost Emiko. Yes, I lost Inabi. But I did the same to people who had nothing to do with this war. Just because they're living in the borders of the Hidden Stone, I erased them. And they're ninjas. Yes, the ninjas were at war, but the people, I felt horrible. I felt miserable. And I tried to bear this pain on my own. As Naruto looked at her, they were drunk the other night, so she wasn't able to see his eyes clearly, but it was almost like he was squinting, like he couldn't see her properly. I felt horrible afterwards. I realized that I was truly what those names say. Demon, monster, an abomination, harbinger of death. While I gained the respect of many for what I did because I brought Konoha peace, I still ended thousands of innocents who had no right to die, but I took that away from them. I took their life, and for that I'll forever feel miserable. Kushina is a wonderful soul who doesn't deserve all of this self-loathing and hatred. So I made sure that we would never be together. I tried to make her hate and despise me, but she would not, even after we broke up. But you were there for me. You stopped by me, keep on forcing me to come hang out, but I kept on blowing you off and acting like I was not there. And for the past couple of years, I have put myself in a state of self-loathing and hatred because I deserve it. I deserve to suffer for what I did. I deserve no happiness. So when you told me that you were pregnant, everything came back so much. All of the emotions, everything that I've been suppressing for so long came back. And it was just too much. And I lashed out. I lashed out in the worst way possible by hurting you. Someone who I never want to hurt because you've always been there for me, and I was a horrible, wicked person for doing that. Just like what they say, a monster. You don't have to forgive me, but I am truly sorry. And I promise you, never, ever again did I say or do something like this to you. Out of everyone else, you've been there the most, trying to get me back on my feet despite the numerous times I've turned you down. But I won't come out to hang out with you. And I've been a terrible person for doing that. As I said, you don't have to forgive me. Just please, no. I'm truly sorry, said Naruto. I never meant anything that I said. It all just came rushing back and I hurt you because my pain was just too much and I was trying to spread it. Horrible thing to do. So that's pretty much it, said Naruto. As he looked at her, Why are you squinting so much, he asks. Out of all the questions that he thought that she would ask, this was not one of them. Oh, that, said Naruto. Well, seems I'm going blind. Have been for a while now. You're what? Yeah. The Mangekyo Sharingan has amazing abilities, but it also has an incredible drawback. The more I used my eyes, the more blind I went. I thought that this might be a punishment for all the wrong I did. Perhaps my eyesight being taken away is a given, said Naruto. To try and repent a small amount of what I did. So you're gonna risk yourself going blind because of your agony that you're feeling. You're gonna lose your eyesight. I thought that it was for the best, said Naruto. And after they were gone, I would hang it all up. Quit the ninja career. And just stop. Leave the village. Live somewhere, well, far away, where I won't be noticed, seen by anyone. So you're gonna leave very soon, she said. Judging the way you're squinting right now, can you even see me? Yeah, but everything is rather blurry, said Naruto. All this time? Since when, she asks. A couple months now. And you've been on S-rank missions. Half blind, she said. As Naruto nodded. She punched him across the face. You idiot, she said. You could have gotten yourself killed. She then realized something. That's what you wanted, wasn't it? As he looked down. I wouldn't actively kill myself. But if it happened, it happened. And you would have left, she said. Me and everyone else. You all would have been better off, said Naruto. After all, look what I did to you. I hurt you. Someone I never wanted to hurt ever. But I hurt you with my words. And despite not meaning them, I know I can't just take them back like that. Shut up, she said. As he went quiet. Yes, you did hurt me. How much people have you told about this? About everything? You're the first, said Naruto. So you have not told Inoichi or no one else? As Naruto shook his head. Why tell me though? I believe you deserve an explanation for what I said and why I said it. It was just too much at once. And it all came out. But trust me, I didn't mean it, said Naruto. I knew it was a horrible thing to say. And I know you probably hate me right now, and this is probably not doing anything, but I am truly sorry. So what? Are you gonna go and die on me, she asks, and let me raise this child alone? I thought I told you before. A child growing up in a broken home is never good. And you're here. I know that you've been through a lot, but you gotta suck it up and fix your shit, okay? Because this is gonna happen. Yes, it is. I'm gonna give birth to this child, and I'm gonna take care of him and love him, despite everything. You can be a part of his life or not. It is up to you. But I know it will be better off if you're a part of his life. But can you forgive me, said Naruto. You hurt me, Naruto, she said. But I can kind of understand what you're going through. But you still hurt me. As she clenched her fists, before she released it, she took a breath. And I'm the only one that you told this. Ninjas from the war. Hundreds of them went. And they got therapy, but you did not. All this anger and rage, all this self-loathing had been bottled up inside of you the entire time, and you never went to seek medical help. That is why you're so tense and on edge. That is why you lashed out at me. As she looked at him directly in the eyes. I know it's hard. I know you think that this is gonna be difficult, but it can work. We can make it work. This is our child. We made it together. And I want you to be a part of its life. It doesn't matter what situation we're in, friends or anything else. I want him to get to know his father. Your father. You told me yourself was never there for you when you were younger. Do you really want to do that to another child? You know how painful it was. Do you want a child to suffer the way you did? But how can I, said Naruto. After everything I'd done, do you really think I deserve happiness? Peace? I can't answer that question for you. You're going to have to answer that question. Yes, you did bad things. But you're not the only one. Yes, you killed thousands, but you're not the only one. Ninjas throughout all histories, they are monsters. But the people who acknowledge that they're wrong, that they've done horrible things, are the ones that can change. The ones that can correct their life. The ones that can repent. The ones that can look forward to a better future. So what do you want to be? Do you want to stuck yourself in this self-loathing pity? Or do you want to move on? Forgive yourself. Be something better. Be the man that Emiko wanted you to be. Have a happy family. Or do you want to go back to being all by yourself and alone? The choice is yours. But I hope you choose the first one. The first way to do that is by getting help. Time skip. There was a knock. Inoichi opened his door. As he was surprised, Naruto. What are you doing here? He said. As he was surprised seeing Naruto here. Can we talk? Yeah, of course. As he exited the house. As Naruto released a breath. You okay, man? Asked Inoichi. No, said Naruto. I haven't been okay for a long time. I need your help. How so? I refuse to have you help me mentally. When the war was over, I refused countless times. Because I know I need it, but I thought I did not deserve it. Now, please, I need your help, said Naruto. Inoichi was surprised, as Naruto was 100% against this, but now, he was asking for his help. Despite everything, Inoichi still saw Naruto as his friend. Sure, he said. Naruto, you're my friend, he said. I'll be happy to help you through whatever you're going through. Thanks, man, said Naruto. Time skip. It's been a day since he left. Tazumi was wondering what he was up to. He said that he would make this right, and he hasn't shown up since. A day wasn't a long time, but she was still wondering what he was doing. There was a knock on the door. As she made her way to answer it, as she saw Naruto standing there. Naruto, she said. You're back. I told you I would be, said Naruto. Huh. For a moment there, I thought you had ran off, she said. I left the village. Naruto sighed as he looked down sad. What's wrong, she said. Well, considering that you would think that of me, I realized how low my standards have dropped. For you to think that I'll leave you, said Naruto, especially with what you're going through right now. Well, you can't blame me, she said. I suppose not, said Naruto. Can I come in? She stepped to the side. So where have you been? I went to speak with Inoichi. He's the second person that I've told now about how I've truly been feeling and what I've been going through. He was angry as well that I hadn't come to him beforehand. Wait, did you tell him about us? No, said Naruto. I'm not sure what you want to tell, so I'll wait until you're ready. As she sat down, you know that this complicates things, right? How so? Said Naruto. Well, for one thing, Kushina, Tazumi, me and Kushina are over, said Naruto. Plus, she's with me now. You don't think I know that? But the both of you had something so deep. It was a surprise to most people in the village that you broke up. I am sure that she still has something for you. And she's not the only problem. Remember, our clans. After all, you're from the Uchiha clan. I'm from the Inuzaka clan. Not to mention me being clan head. How is that gonna work, she asks. I can't give up my name. I'm clan head. We don't have to give up our names. And what if the child weakened his Sharingan? What then, she said. I'll handle the Uchiha, said Naruto. Handle them? How exactly, she said. No offense, but your clan is a couple of arrogant assholes. No offense there, said Naruto, you're kind of right. But I'll handle them. I promise you. You and this child has nothing to fear from the Uchiha clan. I can swear that right now on my life. She sighed as she leaned back in the chair. Fine. I'll let you handle this. You've always proven to be a rather resourceful person. But what about everyone else? What are they gonna think? As she saw Naruto looking towards her stomach. What, she said. I'm just wondering. Do you know the sex, Naruto asked. Oh, not really, she said. When the maid told me I was pregnant, I kind of blacked out everything else. I'm probably due for a checkup, but with the whole situation between me and you, I kind of put it off. As I hate to admit this, but I was afraid at first. And after what you said to me, it was so painful, I just didn't know. As Naruto looked downcast. Stop stressing out yourself about that. You've already explained your reasons, and while I'm still kind of pissed off, I can understand, and now that you're getting help. I understand, she said. But if you ever, I promise, said Naruto. Those words, those thoughts are never on my mind, and I will never say anything like that again. Fine, she said. She leaned back even more, relaxing herself. So what now? I mean, we're gonna be parents. I mean, we are old enough, but I knew that this was gonna happen. But the situation seems so unreal. Let me just take you to the hospital first, said Naruto. Let us speak to the medic there. And then we can decide everything else. As she nodded. I'll get ready, she said. Time skip. The head doctor of the hospital was none other than Tsunade of the Sanin. Today wasn't a really busy day, and Naruto knew Tsunade quite well. She has been through a lot. With her fiancé Dan dying, yes, she has been through a lot. But she decided to push everything in her work. She decided to use all of her time helping people. As she had stopped going out on missions, it seems like the incident had scarred her. But yet still she had remained at the village. And she had been working in the hospital. Jiraiya has been all over the Elemental Nation, running his spine at work, as he wanted to make sure that Konoha is still in the peaceful state that it was, and another war is not on the horizon. There was one individual though, that was not doing so well, and that was Orochimaru. While he was still in the village, he has been taking rather long-term missions. Minato has been keeping an eye on him. The man has been acting rather sketchy, but as of yet there has been no treason act that he has done, so there is no reason to suspect him of anything. But everyone knew that Orochimaru did not like Minato becoming the 4th Hokage because he thought he would get the position, but the 3rd never chose him. Tsunade was surprised. Naruto? She knew him. The reason being, Naruto was just a young kid when Dan had died, and Dan had taught Naruto a lot. Because of him being a young prodigy, Naruto had went out on certain missions at a young age that he wasn't supposed to go on, but he was able to handle himself. One of those missions, Dan had been the leader. Unfortunately though, Naruto wasn't on the mission where Dan had died. Otherwise, he'd have done anything in his power to save Dan, but Dan had taught him a lot. As Naruto's father was never there, after all. He never liked Naruto, as his face reminded him of the woman that he lost. And Naruto and his father never got along. Neither did him and Emiko. But Emiko took care of Naruto. Dan saw Naruto as someone that needed parental guiding in certain situations like life. So he had taught Naruto a few things. Some things about life and some things about, well, abilities. As he had taught Naruto a rather powerful jutsu that he had used to help him a lot in the war. Tsunade had known Naruto quite well through Dan. And not to mention, Naruto had been there when Dan had died. He had been there for her, and she had wanted to drown her sorrows in drinks, and Naruto had stayed and drink the entire night with her. But she was surprised to see him here now, and with more or less Tazumi. As Tsunade looked at Naruto, he has been through a lot. Just like her, he had lost almost everything. He still had his life, but he was broken like her. While he was in his self-pity load, she had invited him out for a drink several times. He drank with her, but he just used it to drown away all of his sadness, which she did as well. She understood him a lot more than most people because she had the same problem. And they got each other. And the both of them respected each other quite well. Out of the few people that Naruto had talked to while he was going through a situation, she and Tazumi was one of the most, along with Itachi. As she saw Tazumi, and with Tazumi, Tsunade said, "Naruto, I need your help." Moments later, "You're pregnant?" And it's Naruto's. Tsunade was shocked. She thought that Naruto would get back together with Kushina one day, but after seeing Minato and Kushina together, she believed the possibility was lowering and lowering. But now, Tazumi was pregnant. As Tazumi nodded, looking towards the woman, she knew her. After all, Tsunade was known as one of the strongest kunoichis in the village, possibly the entire world, as there was a lot of respect there for her. But the woman was just shocked. Of all the people, Tsunade never expected this. But perhaps this was a good thing. Perhaps this will help Naruto move on with his life. Perhaps this will help him cope with the situation. Tsunade had Tazumi lie down, as she started to roam her hand over her stomach. "Yep, you're definitely pregnant." She paused. "What's wrong?" said Naruto. "Well, it turns out that you're not having one." "What do you mean I'm not having one?" said Tazumi. "It seems like it was much too early to tell. Who did you went to?" "Miko was the one that informed me," said Tazumi. "Well, it seems like it was too early for her to tell, but there's another chakra signature. They were slowly developing, so I'm not surprised that she didn't sense them." Wait, what are you saying?" said Naruto. "It seems you're having twins." As that one staggered Naruto. One baby, yes, he could handle, although it was a bit frightening. And he was not really fully stable to handle it, but two? That was more than what he expected. Time skip. Tazumi was talking to Shizune as Naruto was sitting down. Tsunade was looking at him. "I'm surprised," she said. "I never expected you to be with her. But I guess things does happen. But you're probably freaking out right now, aren't you?" "What gave it away?" said Naruto. Tsunade chuckled a bit. "Perhaps this is a good thing, Naruto. We have both suffered a lot. We've both reached the bottom and thought that we would never recover. But we're coming together piece by piece. Perhaps this will help in the long run, to put you back on your feet, as the person that you once were. I know that this is rather shocking and surprising, but you will get through this, and you will have two beautiful baby brats that you will love, and they will fill your heart with something other than self-loathing. And they will make you realize that there is something to look forward to, something for you to get out of bed to protect and care for." "Do you think I deserve it?" said Naruto. "We've been over this countless times, Naruto. I've seen monsters before. I've seen heartless, gut-wrenching people, and you're not one of them. But as I said, this will help you. I wish you and Tazumi all the luck. Have you told anyone yet?" "Not really," said Naruto. "Afraid?" she asked. "No, not really," said Naruto. "The situation is just too unreal." "Yeah, I can get where you're coming from. I've seen many fathers, new fathers experience this. But trust me, it will work out." "What makes you so sure?" said Naruto. "I remember you before all of this. You know that, right? I remember the guy that you used to be, caring and loving, despite your background. Despite the way you were raised. Despite the way you were treated by your own clan for not being a full Uchiha. Somehow, you did not let that put you down. You pushed through everything that tried to hold you back, and you came out on top. Always smile and always happy, until that smile vanished. But I'm sure this kid will help you get it back. Kids are a miracle, you know that, right? Sometimes they just surprise you in certain ways that you'd have never expected. And if they were anything like you when you were growing up, full of energy, I doubt that you'll have enough time to self-load. But trust me, she said, it will work out. Thank you, Tsunade, said Naruto. It's been a long time since we grabbed a drink together. Yeah, it has, she said. How about we get one tonight? Yeah, sure, said Naruto, as he gave her a smile. Wait, you asking, missus? She asks, as Naruto chuckled a bit. Huh. I guess my life is changing now, he said. Yeah, it is, she said. But it is for the better. I'm sure of that. Time skip. Well, that was surprising, said Tazumi. I thought it was just one. But now two. I'm never one to back away from a challenge, but I've heard people talking about childbirth. And it's painful, you know? This is all your fault, she said, as Naruto chuckled a bit. She looked towards him with a surprised look. He was smiling and laughing. As she smiled back, to see him in this mood. Things will be fine, he said. Now that shocked her. To hear him say those words. The way he said it, she wasn't sure, but she just believed him. Hey, I think we should tell people, she said. Firstly, your sister. I know she's gonna be rather pissed if she finds out late. But let's tell her first to see how she will react. After all, you have to deal with your clan, and I'm still not sure how you're going to sort out that issue, said Naruto. I told you before, said Naruto as he gave her a smile. Everything will be fine. Alright, she said, as she leaned her head on his shoulder, as Naruto glanced towards her. As he released a sigh. He didn't know how he was going to make this work, or how things are going to be from now on, but he could at least try. That was one of the main things that Inoichi told him. Try. That he would do. But he still has some more sessions that he need to go. To speak with Inoichi, he had to stop believing that he was a monster. He had to stop believing that he was that thing that people were afraid of. A beast of nothing but chaos and destruction. He had to believe that he was Naruto Uchiha. He had to. Otherwise, he could never move on. He glanced up toward the sky. Emiko, I wish you were here, he said. You too, Inabi. You would be great help. But guys, let me end this right here. If you want to see this person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification so they posted. But I'm off now, see you guys soon. Peace.